Granera. Let's go, over there, yeah. A song by Daft Sounds, yes. A reading by Josephine Shetty. A reading by Rosa Evangelina, yes, yeah. And then myself and Nehemiah, two of the core stewards of SJP, which stands for Students for Justice in Palestine. We have an announcement to make of some of our divestment successes from the year, so stay tuned for that. And followed by two more gorgeous offerings of a presentation and a film, so we can close out the night with that, but you'll hear more from me soon. So thank you so much for being here. Freedom, if you want to come up and get us started. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
thinking about how the drop in natural vegetation in Gaza has decreased since October 7th. Yeah, so I'm just going to read this poem I wrote. The other night, I was being hunted, and my sister too. It was your detailed satellite images of Palestine's wedding, of Plato's olive tree. In November, wants to make aware. 24 miles along the shore of the eastern Mediterranean, some Mycenaean words, Erawa, Erawo, or Eraiwo, Olea Europaea, Mediterranean basin, small white feathery flowers, 10-cleft, calyx and corolla, 2 stamens and bifid stigma, racemes springing from the axials of the leaves, imprints of larvae of olive whitefly, Ailerobus olivinus, its ointment and anointment, 20 to 40 million years, incense had offended them profoundly. I would say they are all pretty much gone now, to be replaced with military earthworks and bomb craters, not collateral. Underground water reserves of sweet, life-giving diplomacy of water, rubble containing human remains, not incidental. Asbestos and unexploded ordnance infiltrated the aquifer, open air waste, burning, black smoke and hazardous pollutants, deliberate. Raw sewage pouring into the Mediterranean, bomb craters, salty seawater. Quote, the IDF does not aim to inflict excessive damage on the environment and strikes exclusively on the grounds of military necessity and in strict accordance with international law, unquote. Plumes of sewage spewing into the sea so that one becomes choking in sewage. My dreams are not usually so cruel. Imagine there is a world inside of the void. Leave it up to me, and I will lift the blanket so you can get inside. Thank you.
Yo, so something that is on my heart is to say that the word shaheed, which also translates to martyr, which also translates to witness. And I think that the strength that we have is our memory. And so it is up to us to continue to memorize those that are here, those that are not here, and to continue to keep those memories and those people alive in the now. And so, although this is in a song, it's not a song, it's a prayer. It's called Amin. Yeah. Free us all, free us all, free us all. No one's free until we all free. No one's free until we all free. I wanna speak with you, you know, go deep with you, beyond words reach with you. Deep tissue, this is prayer, summoning God, known to the lost, mouths trumpet triumphant, alhamdulillah. Divine intervention against the system and Peter, all about living the compass. Freedom isn't so distant, I listen. Fit to the future and back, guess what, we winning, let's get specific. We need brand new conditions, sacrificing your privilege, living as a love they can never extinguish. Hearts broken go harder, rest the power of martyrs, the bigger picture gets larger and everything's connected. It's day 94, homie, this copper chrome, running low on a hoe, can't act like you don't know, it's right there on your phone. They got voted for their drones, no forgiveness for your loans, and I don't even really wish mercy on their souls. But there's joy in the struggle, truth isn't subtle. I'm standing with the babies in the rubble. As we tumble through the tumble, my tears can fill the puddle. I write this because I love you, I write this because I love you. I really love us. Like pieces pretty men try being non-violent when your dignity is stripped. Every day's a gift, as painful as it is, I see myself in them. Looking in their eyes like that's a different strength. I'm looking in their eyes like that's a different strength. Looking at a song like that's a different bridge. What would you do if they bombed your crib? What would you do? Who would you be? That's the real question. What would you do if they bombed your crib? Where would you go? Where would you live if you hear my voice? And if you hear my voice, free us all, that's the call. By any means, I really mean. I mean.
Colonizers are destroying the world's memories about a certain people so they can simply omit them and take their lands.
The number one thing that I know you can help in is to memorize us, to remember us always, to tell the world about us, and to not ever and never leave us in this unjust and in this oppression.
No one is growing, freedom's the motives. How's it over? Something that I'm thinking about and phone ammonia, silence is showing. Voting feels like picking a poison. There's certain truths that are hard to face. An intersection is not a parking space. Human lives getting so displaced over land and oil is such disgrace. Can't sleep, I be hearing them. Ceasefire's just the minimum. This deep ire so insidious. Where's your heart, yo? I'm curious. Can't sleep, I be hearing them. A ceasefire's just the minimum. This deep ire so insidious. Where's your heart, y'all? I'm curious. No one's free till we all free. No one's free till we all free. Let's get free tonight. Let's get free tonight. No one's free till we all free. No one's free till we all free. Let's get free tonight. Let's get free tonight. Let's get free tonight. See, y'all say it with me. No one's free till we all free. No one's free till we all free. Let's get free tonight. Let's get free tonight. Let's get free tonight. Let's get free. No one's free till we all free. No one's free till we all free. So let's get free tonight. Let's get free tonight. Let's get free tonight. Let's get free. Thank you. My name is Sam Sam. Peace, peace, peace.
didn't write this, but I read it recently and I wanted to share. It's not very Palestine specific, but it's very paradigm specific, and I didn't mean for that to be like a mic drop rhyme, but but yeah, you know, we're all here because we know we're being lied to, so I think that something like this might resonate. This is written by Crime Think, which is a decentralized anarchist organization that they're just who they're made of. They are who they're made of. You can like find their writing and stuff online. This is called The Contents of Your Daily Life. How many hours a day do you spend in front of a television screen, a computer screen, behind an automobile windscreen, all 3 screens combined? What are you being screened from? How much of your life comes at you through a screen, vicariously? Is watching things as exciting as doing things? Do you have enough time to do all the things that you want to? Do you have enough energy to? Why? And how many hours a day do you sleep? How are you affected by standardized time, designed solely to synchronize your movements with those of millions of other people? How long do you ever go without knowing what time it is? Who or what controls your minutes and hours, the minutes and hours that add up to your life? Are you saving time? Saving it up for what? Can you put a value on a beautiful day, when the birds are singing and people are walking around together? How many dollars an hour does it take to pay you to stay inside and sell things or file papers? What can you get later that will make up for this day of your life? How are you affected by being in crowds, by being surrounded by anonymous masses? Do you find yourself blocking your emotional responses to other human beings? And who prepares your meals? Do you ever eat by yourself? Do you ever eat standing up? How much do you know about what you eat and where it comes from? How much do you trust it? What are we deprived of by labor-saving devices, by thought-saving devices? How are you affected by the requirements of efficiency, which place value on the product rather than the process, on the future rather than the present moment that is getting shorter and shorter as we speed faster and faster into the future? What are we speeding towards? Are we saving time? Saving it up for what? How are you affected by being moved around in prescribed paths, in elevators, buses, subways, escalators, on highways and sidewalks, by moving, working, and living in 2- and 3-dimensional grids? How are you affected by being organized, immobilized, and scheduled rather than wandering, roaming freely and spontaneously, scavenging, shoplifting? How much freedom of movement do you have? Freedom to move through space, to move as far as you want, in new and unexplored directions. And how are you affected by waiting? Waiting in line, waiting in traffic, waiting to eat, waiting for the bus, waiting to urinate, learning to punish and ignore your spontaneous urges? How are you affected by holding back your desires, by sexual repression, by the delay or denial of pleasure, starting in childhood, along with the suppression of everything in you that is spontaneous, everything that evidences your wild nature, your membership in the animal kingdom? Is pleasure dangerous? Is your pleasure dangerous? Could danger be joyous? Do you ever need to see the sky? Can you see many stars in it anymore? Do you ever need to see water, leaves, foliage, animals, glinting, glimmering, moving? Is that why you have a pet, an aquarium, houseplants? Or a television video, you're glimmering, glinting, moving? How much of your life comes at you through a screen vicariously? If your life was made into a movie, would you watch it? How are you affected by a non-stop assault of symbolic communication? Audio, visual, print, billboard, video, radio, robotic voices, ads, as you wander through a forest of signs. What are they urging upon you? Do you ever need solitude, quiet, contemplation? Thinking on your own rather than reacting to stimuli, letting thoughts arise? Is it hard to look away? Is looking away the very thing that is not permitted? Where can you go to find silence and solitude? Not white noise, but pure silence. Not loneliness, but gentle solitude. How often have you stopped to ask yourself questions like these? Do you ever feel lonely in a way that words can't express? Do you sometimes feel yourself ready to lose control? Thank you.
I wrote this chapbook in January. It's a long poem. I'm going to read a few pages from it. It's called This Is Not a Goodbye Poem. It's about our interconnected struggles. And I couldn't write for about a year after October 7th, and then this just came out. So here we go. This poem is about anything but trauma. This poem is not about being a loved child, womb carried, or infant migrated. This poem is not about family curses. This poem is not about maternal names disguised as maternal. Not about dolls, diaries, or dreams. Not about growing up paperless on the other side. This poem is not an offspring of violence, physical, sexual, spiritual, ecological, settler, colonial, white supremacist, genocidal, or other. This poem is not shoving clutter around to scarcely find what serves under the rubble. This is not a personal poem. This poem is about you. This poem is a top bunk 6-year-old singing, "You're a grand old flag, you're a high-flying flag, and forever in peace may you wave." This poem is not about disownment. This poem is not telling the truth. This poem is haunted by arrows flying over the body, but never killing it. This poem is happening to you. This poem is in English because protection. This poem is aware of the fires within and without, letting it go in every day until now. This poem is about recycling our plastic truths, a process which cannot go on indefinitely. This poem is a lifeline. This poem is about the lyric, "Nothing would change if we made love." This song is not about your parents' lived experience, but don't we all wish it were? Maybe there's still a way out of this poem. Maybe the original packaging is intact. Maybe the birth certificate of every person we've ever held can fit inside. Maybe there's a universe in which your grief recovery is contributing to a permanent ceasefire. Maybe this poem is trapped in ensured ethereal middle piece going directly to the source. Maybe smuggle this poem inside the Zapatista doll still eyeing you from the white shelf as you write this. Maybe we do need scars, says a child. Maybe this poem is still locked for you, but also for me. Maybe there's still a way in. This poem is not going to make it out alive. This poem needs courage and radio silence. This poem is making promises to children sewn into a body with adult bones. This poem is completing grief with incomplete language. This poem says, "I will never run away from you again." This poem hurries toward the blaze and knows its heat cannot injure your inner material because you are still breathing. This poem lights a candle For the abuelas you remember, and for this missing one. This one held you before the before, and still. This one can't stop obsessing about spiritual warfare. This one can't stop you from leaving again. This one can't stop imagining an untouched body suspended over amnesia's string. This one can't stop writing in a frayed hoodie after pasta and the news. This one made a place on the desk for your ashes yesterday after 4 years, 1 month, 12 days. This one needs the colonizer to make a different choice. This poem isn't finished. This poem is now here inside another womb. This one wakes, sleeps, wakes, carries on. Will doom scroll through a frantic mirror. This one will eat watermelon again and not faint. This one prefers peace to war, as warriors do. This one protects life force inside creviced language. This one cannot make whole again. It rattles open a small door. Thank you.
This is Nehemiah. I'm Ariane, and thank you. Yeah, I'll do that. Thanks. So we have a pretty big announcement regarding our divestment campaign. But firstly, it's such an honor to be with you guys here today. We're so grateful for you, all of you who are here. If you don't know us, we're Students for Justice in Palestine, CalArts. We're part of a national network dedicated to getting institutions to divest from the industry of state violence globally. We've been working on this together for a moment. But in addition to this, we work to raise awareness around the ongoing genocide in Gaza and also to incorporate our artistic practice into the legacy of artists resisting state violence and apartheid. You can get involved with our events with a sheet that is passing around from the beautiful Celeste in the pink and the blue. Sorry for jump spot. And, but yeah, please stay in touch. And this one is graduating, congratulations. But we are losing a core member, so if anyone else in this next year wants to, join me on the leadership team, please reach out. And, but the announcement. So a week ago, when the Board of Trustees missed the agreed deadline to deliver the results of the vote on our amendments to CalArts investment policy, we started to mentally prepare for a second encampment, a continuation of last year.
That brought back memories of long days and nights since October 7th, 2023, organizing with our community, that's a lot of you here, and eventually getting over 1,100 signatures on our divestment demand letter. This happened through conversations while occupying the main campus entrance for 15 days and nights. Many of you slept on the concrete with us, covering the name of our institute until the administration gave us reason to believe in it again. And because of that solidarity campaign 1 year ago, and the implied pressure of a disruption to graduation, we negotiated the formation of the Ethical Investment Work Group with the administration for the express purpose of aligning CalArts investments with its values. This was a direct result of the majority of our school community standing up for Palestine, standing up for those who suffer from and continue to resist human rights violations and war crimes around the world.
We're really fortunate to be able to stand before you today to announce that, and this is the moment we've been excited about, is that yesterday, thanks to the pressure and consistent organizing from SJP and FJP faculty as well, that we carried out, the board has formally approved the EIW amendments and an ESG statement, which is huge, and that is the de facto guide of our school's investment policy. So that investment policy is now amended, it's published on CalArts public website, and we'd like to yeah, actually, no, give it a minute. This is a lot more support than the majority of institutions or schools are getting. It is a, you know, we have a lot of similar issues, but it is a different landscape here, and, you know, I really encourage you guys to get involved. Within that, those amendments that we fought for, we wanted to share one of those with you.
CalArts is committed to not investing in entities that consistently, knowingly, and directly facilitate and enable human rights violations and violations of international law. The Ethical Investment Work Group's understanding of human rights abuses conforms to UN definitions. In accordance with UN bodies and mechanisms, the Ethical Investment Work Group, EIW, understands human rights abuses to include such crimes as genocide, ethnic cleansing, sexual violence, torture, attacks on civilians, denial of humanitarian aid, attacks on schools and hospitals, and apartheid.
This language is extremely important as it refers to long-established norms and structures as a guide for determining who's guilty of these crimes, separate from the political forces that profit from and enable oppression. The forces that try time and time again to throw smoke screens over facts, to corrupt truth, to divide us against each other. So we made this universal language so that it would hold strong now for Palestine, for Lebanon, for Sudan, for the Congo, for all lands where these crimes against humanity exist. Everywhere people resist oppression and annihilation.
The strategy and the way we carried this out was the result of a long process, 2 years with a lot of support and mentorship. Despite our skepticism of admin and the institution, and our lack of faith, we succeeded in creating a dialogue and plan of action to uphold this institution, to make this shit do the shit it knows it's pretending to do, so we make them actually do, right? We did, yeah, that's what it is. We make them actually do. We make them do the thing they say. In this spirit, we want to share with you an excerpt from Robbie's letter announcing the formation of the EIW, the Ethical Investment Work Group, last spring, at this time last year. In recent weeks, advocacy by students, faculty, and other members of our community for the people of Palestine became a catalyst for us to consider the Institute's stated values and how they should inform the material and financial impacts of CalArts beyond our campus. When we show up and stay committed, we can make material lasting impacts. We need to put them to work for us.
Yet our work is far from over. So we need you, we need each other, and the community to continue to show up. We've made huge progress, but complete divestment requires our dedicated time. So getting out of these contracts and investing in funds which are free from these crimes, it unfortunately does take years of work. Because of our efforts and the efforts of organizers around the world, though, the demand for funds free from violent atrocities is growing more and more powerful. So we urge you to please to join us in continuing this fight. We've got to keep energizing, resourcing, and supporting Students for Justice in Palestine, and FJP is amazing as well. So please get in touch. We have a QR code passing around, and our IG's on there. Do not be a stranger. You can email us. Whatever your favorite mode of social media or something TikTok, and email, whatever. Do it.
Okay. So let's grow with that. Let's keep making sure that this school puts its money where its mouth is. We need to stand together on this long road ahead. We should feel proud knowing that we can be a beacon and a resource for other schools fighting for investment, for justice, for liberation. And we're so proud to stand with you you today and call you comrades. We need each other now more than ever for Palestine, for our humanity, until we are all free. As that said. From the river to the sea,
Palestine will be free.
from the river to the sea,
Palestine will be free.
from the river to the sea,
Palestine will be free.
from the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
Thank you all, we got this.
Film and presentation. Did that work? Grace.
Hello,
Hello.
my name is Grace. I'm a BFA2 dancer here. I'm here to tell a story about my hometown university, Portland State University, where I transferred from. One of our faculty members was dismissed without reason. Their name is Nick. This is from the PSU Vanguard Students Journal. And this is their letter to the editor. Some quotes. Next slide, please. This is Nick Francisco Cajone, PhD, Director of Women's Resource Center, Portland State, active member of PSU Disarming Our Best, which happened when Mr. Washington was killed by campus police, and also faculty and staff for Justice in Palestine. Some of their words were, every university in Gaza has been destroyed. Think about that. Every single one. In the face of this devastation, what are we doing here at Portland State University, an institution like CalArts that claims to value education, equity, and social justice? And what are you doing? This is some example of the institutions in Gaza that have been demolished. Once a symbol of academic excellence, the home of Gaza's bright students, the Islamic University in Gaza has been destroyed by Israeli airstrikes, like hundreds of other schools, destroyed by Israel, now shelters entire families living in tents and makeshift structures amidst the ruins. These images by Jihad al-Sharafi in April document the scale of devastation inflicted upon the Palestinian people as part of Israel's ongoing genocide campaign. Every university has been destroyed. This is not the erasure of infrastructure, but of knowledge, potential, and an entire generation's future, a deliberate scholasticide. So this is from Nick. I recently lost my job, not for any legal wrongdoing or breach of contract, but because I refused to stay silent in the face of genocide. Now I don't share this for sympathy, I share it because I want you to understand the stakes of what speaking out did for Nick. Palestinians are being bombed in their homes, starved alive in refugee camps, murdered in classrooms, and burned alive outside of hospitals. And here at our university, the repression may look different, but it is no less a part of the same system. Silence, complicity, and putting profit over people, whether through ties to war profiteers, real estate development, or the capitalist structures that value human life and dignity. We are told to stay in our lanes, to be professional, and to avoid controversy. But there is nothing controversial about opposing genocide, or there shouldn't be. There is nothing radical about saying Palestinian lives matter, since all lives should. We must refuse to let our workplaces, such as Portland State University, become sanitized states of complicity in the name of neutrality. So my call to action remains the same. The time to act is now, for Gaza, for justice, for the future of education and everywhere. Sign? This was the dialogue it struck in me in response for my Instagram, just commenting on the post of the PSU Vanguard. I thanked them for their journalism practice of sharing these stories on Palestine and focusing on the reporting of the public's disapproval when that is not often done, especially because it has to about something, a project that the U.S. organization, due to their involvement in the projects, U.S. organizations often ignore reporting on the public's disapproval. Palestine is a current example of how white supremacist colonialism's military-industrial complex and genocidal land grabs are profitable for capitalists, and that is why they do not want to talk about us disagreeing with that. Next slide. Oh, that might be. Let me get out my notes. Our silence is our consent for the atrocities of the Zionist and real estate projects to continue. It is the job of you assistants to police our workplaces so that we stay complacent, docile, and ignorant about our involvement. We're not supposed to have the chance to talk to each other about this. These spaces aren't meant to exist, not as clubs, not with the Palestinian flag shown. That is repression of freedom of speech. Conformity and inaction are more advantageous than standing up against injustice in our culture. Let's not talk about politics, and we can't teach anything in American history class if it happened within the last 20 years. That's 2 reasons. The Iowa politicians' call-makers execute the physical violence, but that's the second step of this. The first step, which they keep on accomplishing here, the U.S., is that they maintain American citizens' approval of the government. If you're ever critical of the U.S. government, it's so culturally disapproved of. If there's ever a fuck America bandwagon, it's only for 4 to 8 years until the red figurehead is out of office. I'm kind of tired of that. You also might get called ungrateful. Aren't I lucky to live here? Yes, but my monetary privileges, I know, are often blood money, stolen land, stolen labor, capitalist empire of extraction, and throwing our trash overseas so we don't have to see it. And that is what I disagree with. Yes. Just to reiterate, the first war strategy of our foreign policy politicians and our colonizer investors is always executed here in the U.S. by permission. We're not stopping them if we're not speaking up against what we are doing, quote, in the Middle East. It very much does affect us because it is happening to our freedom of speech, bringing forth fascism to allow us to continue. Thank you.
I cannot wash and waste time before the dinner party. The wooden sculptures I have allowed myself to fondle over as I arrange and rearrange the altar of our dining room table. I am cutting a hard look at the tree. circle, forgetting and remembering. As others arrive, pushing doors into my home, accidentally happy. I don't know how to do that anymore, I say. I look up at the dust floating in the air where warmth falls.
Day 424. A concentration of attacks on Gaza City north as IO bombed 2 homes in Sabra. Nearby, 36 Palestinians killed in Gaza. 36 Palestinians and targeted and flowers and manufacturing West Bank, Gaza. Iowa killed a 15-year-old boy after shooting an ongoing spite 15.
There is genocide on our lips at this party. Stop me from thinking we have time. We live on borrowed time. When it's remembered, when can I relate to the act of forgetting for the sake of healing?
غريب على ضفة النهر كالنهر يربطني باسمك الماء لا شيء يرجعني من بعيد إلى مثلك لا شيء يحملني أو يحملني طفلة لا الحنين ولا الوعد ماذا سأفعل؟ ماذا سأفعل من دون منفعة؟ الماء يربطني باسمك صرنا خفيفين مثل منازلنا كالرياح البعيدة صرنا صديقين للكائنات الغريبة بين الغيوم وصرنا طريقين من جاذبية الأرض الهوية ماذا سنفعل؟ ماذا سنفعل من دون منفى وليل طويل يحدق في الماء ولا شيء يحملنا لا الطريق ولا البيت وماذا سنفعل؟ ماذا سنفعل؟ ماذا سنفعل من دون منفى
Thank you all so much. It's the end of our program. Stick around for the next act, and you can hang out with us at our Zine Fest. We're running a direct aid campaign, so we're doing a donation-based sales on all of the zines. come be a part of our fundraiser, and make some new friends. We're pretty cool. We're okay. So thank you guys. I appreciate you.
The fundraisers are everywhere from Palestine to Congo and Sudan, and benefiting families we know, directly helping them get to safe houses, pay for medical bills, and things like that. So please come support and bring people to show up over there. Thank you.
What remains when the hurly-burly is done? When the race is lost or won? When we find ourselves wondering again, how did we get here? I thought we moved beyond fear. What remained was melt. What remained was shape. A space made negative by the ephemerality of water and fat. What remained were minerals. Calcium outlives carbon. Iron will outlive us all. An elemental name that begins with the same letters as fear and feral makes miracles of mark and medicine. Its age, the beginning of war, melts only with breath to be reborn as blood. To be reborn as blood. What remained were clothes, jewelry, vibrators, boxes, and walls full of half-made art. Sweet sky-bound friends. I still have Venus socks. My skin remembers her warm, soft flesh before charcoal, before ash. What remained was echo. Rivers, gurgling reverberation. I squeeze iron oxide, gathered creekside, and smell cedar. Dappled sunlight, moss. Ghosts of bird trills and stream song. Did you know this was once a delta? This was once an alluvial field of waters running, not bound, not profitable. Ghosts of bird trills and stream song hollow me of street din and screen poison, wild wet, rewinds me whole. We turned oceanic riches into single-use bottles. We claim land as our own when it can never be owned, broke our pacts and forgot what must last, covered forest in hardened oil to hurry to our own end. What remained were bones, last to decompose. Notch and cavity, specters of structure and purpose, are they where time lives? Here, look, this is where a tendon attached. See, this was a foundation. There was something more here once. I miss it. In the moments between, we wait. Potential's potency plays our edges. We long for a taste nearly forgotten, stir what remains of gray coals, frozen, still yet green shoots emerge, blue peeks through, we can almost discern the dawning of day through the smoke. Beyond a bare lightning of shades, scent rides the frigid but no longer frosty wind. Flora nestled in leaf mold and and bark bower peers into the haze of our holding on. Rustles wings, a just garland crowned, and lets unfurl the heralds of fertility. Life never stops coming. Crocus, trillium, tulip, daffodil, hyacinth, iris. Their tender tininess beline how tenacious groundbreakers must be. However trivial it may seem, spring perseveres, rising again every year to lay anguish to rest, even as we reckon with what did not survive the winter, and what it means to walk in bodies another year older. A fragrant hand reaches into the gloaming of our gloom. Open, ageful palm invites us into airs crisp and lights pierce, saying it's time to grow again, to imagine into being what shapes our collective grown garden may yet take. There's a little game I like to play. And this one's special because we have a very cozy crowd tonight. I like to get a couple words from the audience of what's alive for you in this moment, especially for those of you who were here for the SJP's presentation and just all the disaster process, what it means to be alive in this world and this time and the ongoing fucking atrocities we're living through. But also whatever else might be real, a word or three. How many of you lovely beings?
Solidarity.
Solidarity, great. And two more. Love. Moving. Solidarity, moving. Third one more. Tender. That's one of my favorite words. Partly because it's the homophone, the word that I want. It means multiple things, slightly different spelling. I'm not going to tell you I know how we're going to get out of this. If I knew, I might have the hubris to think I wouldn't have let us get in this position in the first place. I'm not going to tell you I know your experience is, or that I know you at all as some fixed thing that my mind, so tired and conditioned, thinks it could hold in place. We are moving beings. I'm not going to tell you I know how to get out of this. It's the not knowing that undoes the knots that got us here in the first place, and yet also maybe we could be curious together, and maybe there's some part of us that might only exist because we both show up with just enough yes to make it through the door, with just enough yes to ask, and instead of holding on to what we think we already know about how it's supposed to be. I'm not going to tell you that I know how we're going to get out of this, because I don't know that there's an out, and I'm not entirely sure what this is, and that it's not more and yet also less than what we actually are. But what I can say is that there is a way that we might be built simply, there is a way that we might build and also, yes, be built simply through choosing not just what we think we're supposed to do, not just being in conflict against, but in building with. What might it be? How might it feel if we kept reaching towards each other, even and especially when we don't understand? I cannot help but harm, but I can also choose to hold out the hand again and again and say, hey, we might get through this together. even if we don't know what this is or what together means, there might be a way that we can show up and find out and show up again. And the compost, the soil, the foundation we tend our way towards on the other side might not look like anything we expected or planned, but it could still be. Be and become and keep becoming somewhere to live. I realized I went into it and didn't give any of the names of the previous one. The first one was called Bones. The second one was Primavera. This next one is Alluvium. And I'll have one more short one and allow the space for the next person. Thanks for being here. Thanks for tuning in, those of you who are. I sent my mom the link. I hope she's watching. If you are, I love you, Mom. It's called alluvium, and it's a word I learned recently, and I love it so much. It's kind of just like simple biological term, but it feels like it hits something deep. Maybe it's the like vowel sounds, but alluvium is soil that's made rich by water that once ran over it, and much of Los Angeles was, delta isn't quite the right word, but it was what is now called the LA River, was this alluvial river, meaning that it would move and meander and it would leave really fertile patches as it changed and moved before it was channeled and all the things of fear of flooding permanent structures. But there's something in that being with the natural meandering nature of nature and water specifically that I think holds a key for us as humans of like easing out of scarcity, control, greed, fear paradigm and into more of like a generosity, sharing, solidarity, co-creative, we actually can survive paradigm. So less proselytizing, more poetry. Her course, unbidden, finds me in the middle. The refuse of currents, ridden with only conquest in mind. No minds in this flow, never mind. For who could hold enough water for a lifetime? Let the river meander. Perhaps our waves and our ways can weave us to her shore to share. Plenty is the prophet of generosity. Prophets profess all life is cyclical, generative, inherently abundant, allergic to hoarding. Now flood, now drought, but such extremes were here long before us. Perhaps even now there's still a place for us in the chorus. Birdsong, sumptuous soil remediated by wandering waters, springs unburdened, courses undammed, sweet water currents ride us to soft landings again. There's a particular joy in holding a mic that I don't get to experience that often. I don't fully understand it, but I love it. This being cordless is like, so one more piece. My name is Mayima Lightsey. Thanks for listening. Got a little background chorus going. Following the clues on this modern day quest, a new way of putting our faith to the test, following my heart to find a part in this epic play of life reset. And it's not quite like back in the day, no apparent dragon in need of a good slay. It's time we lay our notions aside. The lie, an economy built on slavery. The journey to set each other and ourselves free, and I recognize it starts with me. I can't just walk on concrete to reach the mountain cave. I've learned that dragons are my allies, and all my friends are witches. Rainbows rarely start on flat ground or end without a storm. Wait, that's the other way around. So I climb, swim, fly to reach my pot of gold, which is not just green, and once found can never be sold. Following the clues on this modern day quest, a new way of listening, a different kind of treasured chest awaiting. The map is not always tattered yellow paper. Sometimes it's a specter of sacred geometry or a diagram of our diaphragms, how to breathe with our bodies, how to heal with our hands. The little birdie still tells us where to go, how to flow, but now they're 5'4" in platform boots and day-glow fur. And the guardian of the threshold is checking IDs, and the dragons I can see are painted on tapestries or tattooed on our bodies, but still, we are in the magic land. And we must know when to wield our swords, when to sweep ourselves, when to humble ourselves, in the holy places. We must understand the measure. We are the treasure we seek. We must understand the measure. We are the treasure we seek. If we are ever going to find it, ask why it was hidden in the first place. This race with a new pace can only lead us away from or back to home. And our folly, as we hide from or hoard or chase what could only ever be inside us. Following. It's the quest that defines us. It's the quest that defines us. Thank you so much.
Yeah. I'll just say it. No, I'm just gonna do it as well. Thank you all for being here. This performance is kind of in response to the wildfires in LA, in January, thinking about my own personal experiences with fire, slipping wood. Let's see. Go to right now. Oh, I'm not getting any signal from it.
What's my name and now? Behind the ripple curtain, 9-month gestation period after consummation, I the well to the ringing. I remember a cold pinch of tarmac, consuming ore and pocket. With amber, reset house of that I remember, hoping with closed outside. hinted, removing a terrible morbid past which belongs intelligence, but it's opera. Exploding. I can't see. No parents were or what then related would be so clearly answering the sense of time. I don't terror. It was more of curiosity about self and intelligence. Lead finished, Teddy, but smoke and water, everything inside, and regrets, flames, they were. Numbly broken, and told of the groanings and of the into LA, away to sleep. Desire, the relief, but so the fires consumed it. It back in, we act empty, it, we. Ripple after, tracing without time. Belief was the shudder of I was smoke. You cannot it all. The night, stern, red. Regardless of lenses seared into my mind, panic and icon to channel it until each channel fires is saviour and my sounded the second time. It was a weekend working strawberries. On this planet, in the irate but it's not enough. Hearts and pillars fight for the right for all of, fight against the it all. Everyone needs to see that the roof will soon collapse, but there's still time to get out. Fire peace, water peace. Cool, polluted, parting waves, hearts of diamonds, young. Swayed for 9 days. And then the park, I was so spent of the most electrifying control I returned to. Now I look heavy, zombie fire, about to leave, to be through along this. As song and to drive was drawn ready to on Wednesday, or of Saturday. 50 to 3,500 on the watch, some turn and then we moved furniture, floor, bed, water in the bedroom. But many things. Out the room in a joy, when we that every day. Wildfire, the house, 30 going home, service, belonging. the snarling manner of window as I'm jolted. I can hear the heart, the beat I was cool. I finished contact.
I'll see you around. Thanks.
I just need the screen down for the video.
Yeah, we'll get that.
Sorry.
No worries. And is this going to be broadcast too, or should we end it? Because we end the performances, but
Yeah, I don't think this one was on can I plug it in? Or is it gonna?
Can't work there. I gotta just do one. It's too much. And DTLA?
yeah.